It's done.
Mm-hmm.
Finally. Alright.
Yep.
We got it done in under 4 hours. The gameplay part, at least.
It's just about.
Yeah. Yeah. No. In under 4 hours. It's 3 hours 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not just about. We did it. We actually did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Alright. What was your favorite part?
What was my favorite question? Trying to remember, my memory's so fragmented. I don't know. I feel like I kind of do understand what you were talking about with the whole Call of Duty aspect, because it did feel like they stuffed as many enemies as they could
Yep.
into some
And
of
there
those
was no
areas.
way. And there was no way to pacifist through it either. Yeah.
I can tell you my least favorite part was the
Uh,
big.
no, you gotta tell me your favorite part
I
first.
can't think of
Come
a
on.
favorite part. I can think of a least favorite part, but let me think of a favorite part real quick. Um,
Because I have two answers for favorite part.
I don't really have an answer for favorite part. Is the thing. Um, I'm really trying to think.
I liked when it ended. That was my favorite part.
Um, I feel like I enjoyed the cutscenes in the game. The cutscenes are nicely made. You know, I feel like the story was a little
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like visuals is kind of a cop out because that's kind of.
I hate the visuals. I think it looks ugly as sin.
No,
I would say
no,
my
not the
least
gameplay
favorite
visuals.
part.
I'm talking about the cutscene visuals.
Well, they changed the art style for everything, and that includes cutscenes.
No, not the art styles. The cinematography. You know what I mean?
That was a huge step down from Reach and Halo 3 as well.
Yeah, but I
There,
still think that it was pretty decent. Not too bad.
I
But
don't know.
my favorite part, I don't know. I can't remember all the parts. There was a mech at one point.
Yeah, that one's
Uh,
okay, except it goes on for too long.
that all go on for too long. I don't think there's a single mission that doesn't go on for too long.
Exactly.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. My favorite part was the end.
Yeah.
That's the part.
Being my my favorite, the best feeling I got was when uh we finally got to when the light bridge extended and I knew that it was just the QTE left. That was a very good part because I knew that I wouldn't have to play Halo 4 anymore.
I think that Halo 4 isn't a terrible game. It's just a bad sequel, really.
Mhm.
Um, if I try to look at it without comparing it to the other Halo games, it's not a bad game, you know? It's not a terrible game. It's just not a very good game. Right?
No, it's a bad game.
But it is a
It's a
bad
bad
it's a
game.
bad sequel. It's not a bad game, it's a
No,
bad sequel. You know what I mean?
it is a bad video game.
Uh, it's not a very good game. It is actually it might classify as a bad game. It was just not very fun to
It's
play.
ass. It's ass. You can say it. It's ass. That little message where it's like, "Oh, thank you for trusting us with this thing." Yeah, 343, you really made us fucking regret it, assholes.
They tried. They tried. I won't say their
The
best, but they
only
tried.
good the only good game that has come out since 343 Industries bought the Halo series was made by Creative Assembly, and it was Halo Wars 2. And yeah, 343 Industries has not made a good game so far. Maybe Halo Infinite will be good, Maybe it'll suck dick. I don't know. I like the multiplayer, but I like the multiplayer in Halo 5. But that story was worse than garbage. What was your least favorite part? If you had to pick one part that was just the worst.
The desert level. It was like a
Yeah, I don't
big
like that one
truck
either.
in a big desert.
Yeah. It drives slow as fuck, too.
Yeah, it's just so much desert for no reason.
And so much waiting around. I hate
hmm
it.
hmm
I would say Midnight was...
I have to say, there's a lot of
Parts
waiting
of that
around
were pretty
though.
bad.
Lots of waiting.
Yeah.
It,
Did you have a favorite weapon at all?
I feel like, old reliable carbine DMR, they all work just as well as they used to for like any of
Headshots.
any for like the newer
Yeah.
stuff. Most of it was not very good, but
Yeah.
I like the rocket launcher. It was a little too destructive at
Yeah.
times though, but it was
Did you have a
fun.
least favorite weapon?
Probably I can't remember. It was one of those like yellow and black weapons. It was like an assault rifle that like did no damage.
Yeah, the suppressor. Yeah,
I think it
that's a
was
piece
that
of shit.
one. Yeah. It
The bolt
was.
shot would be just as useless if it didn't have the little shotgun mode. It's pretty okay. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the suppressor's dog shit. Yeah. Did you have a vehicle that you liked? The Mantis, probably.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty decent
That was.
addition.
It's the only new vehicle. Yeah. Um, did you have a least favorite vehicle?
Probably the the plane where I was in the turret. It just seemed
Oh
kind of
yeah, the
boring.
Pelican. Yeah. They could have done so much better with that, right?
Yeah,
But
it was very
they make
poorly
those kind of
done.
missions suck. Even the one in Reach, even New Alexandria is not that good.
Mm.
Um, did you have a mission that was the least bad?
The last mission, besides all the dying and stuff, it wasn't that bad. I feel like maybe there was a little bit too many mobs and they could have toned it down a little bit, but it was alright,
Mm-hmm.
It's let them have it.
Uh, yeah. I like mission 7 because there's no Prometheans in it, except for the part where you're in the Mantis for like 10 straight minutes and it goes on for way too fucking long.
Yeah.
It would have been so good if you were just in the Mantis for a little while. And then, you cracked on the like, that would be like an easy thing, right? Because you're going to crack on the turrets, right? That would make sense for it to be like, oh, you're only in it for a little while. You only have to mop up the stragglers with the Mantis, right? That would make sense. But no, they want to stretch it out for as long as fucking possible, and it sucks.
Yeah, lots
Least
of
favorite mission.
well, I'm pretty sure it's the same the sand level, right? It's the same.
Yeah, Reclaimer.
It's,
I like that one because there's not too many Prometheans on it
I feel like the
for a while,
Prometheans,
but
I don't really mind the Prometheans. Uh unless like it's a little excessive. And a lot of levels I feel like the problem isn't the Prometheans, it's just the number of Prometheans. They just
yeah,
cranked
there's
the
way
mob
too
count
many.
to like way too high. My problem with that level is that it was like just boring and slow, and there was like nothing to do for a lot of time but just sitting on a little thing and waiting.
Yeah. There's uh there's like a lot of just gameplay issues with this game where it just the only viable strategy when you get on like the higher difficulties is just to stay in cover from behind or like stay behind cover from like a long way away and just shoot the enemies with a long ranged weapon. And like that's so not fun. That's Call of Duty shit. And do you know what Call of Duty has that this game doesn't have? Low time to kill. Like, all the enemies are fucking huge bullet sponges, unless you get fucking headshots, and even then, the knights and the watchers and the uh, elites are all fucking huge bullet sponges, and it sucks, and they're awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you a question, and you have to say, uh, and if you can't think of anything, that's fine. That is a perfectly valid answer. Besides graphics, what has this game improved upon from Halo Reach?
Um, that is interesting one.
Again, you are allowed to say nothing.
I, it's really hard to say anything at all. I don't think there was really anything. I could say something like generic, like it added story, but it really didn't add story.
Nope. Mm-hmm.
It
Yep.
kind of just was like, here's how we get Master Chief to be in the game again, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they added a little bit of drama with the whole, apparently, caught like making drama with the whole Cortana thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I would
That
say this
was
game, like,
yeah.
there wasn't really much that it uh there wasn't anything really that they improved on, I would say. It was definitely a step
Mm-hmm.
backwards and not forwards.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Um, what is the worst part about this game that you would want improved for Halo 5 if you just had to pick one thing?
It's really just pacing. If you put too many enemies in an area, it slows down the pace. If you have the objectives, like if you have too many objectives, it slows down the pace. If you
Mm-hmm.
have slow escort missions, it slows down the pace. And I feel like they did every single one of those things in this game, and the pace constantly dragged and dragged and dragged. I kind of like how you were telling me every single mission feels too long, and it's because the pace is constantly slowed down over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely that was a problem that they fixed, and then they just kind of have the same problem again.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they just fix the pacing and balance like the amount of enemies they have and all that, I feel like the rest of the game would be a lot better. There is a couple other things they could do as well, like with just making the weapons feel a little bit more uh like viable.
Weighty or
Yeah,
yeah, viable. Yeah.
because a lot of the weapons it just feels like it doesn't matter what you choose, you're still gonna have to shoot them like 15 times, and that's not very fun, right? You want to feel powerful. You
Mm-hmm.
want to feel like these weapons are powerful. You know, they took the time to design like these cool looking weapons, and they don't handle at all.
Exactly.
So pacing, you know, just the feel of the weapons, the balance of the enemies, you know, the story also. Just maybe I won't say they didn't give us a story. They gave us a story. It just wasn't a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe try to you know, just improve all of that. Every single one of those.
But if all right, so if Halo 5 is an exact copy of Halo 4, but with one thing improved, what would you want that one thing to be?
Definitely, I feel like the most annoying part of the game was definitely the pacing. So that'd be the number one thing is pacing.
Pacing? All right.
Yeah.
I would say I could probably give up the gameplay issues if they fix the art style.
I don't think the art
Like if they
style was as I,
it isn't as bothersome for you because you're not quite as invested in the series as I am. I've been very invested in this series. I've spent 10 plus years of my life on this series. I love the Halo games. I all in all, it's a quality franchise. It's got good lore, it's got good games, it's got a lot of things that are good about it. But it's ever since 343 took over, they haven't been very good. And I think maybe Infinite is a return to form, or maybe everything's just gonna go to shit. Either way, I'm gonna play Halo Infinite, obviously. Yeah, obvious. But I think lore wise, I think the art style was like a huge change, and it fucks up the continuity. It fucks up the intro cutscene is a complete fucking nightmare for continuity. I'm glad you didn't have to watch it because it's terrible. Um, but yeah, no, the it just looks like shit. Like the new art style isn't even good either, right? Like everything looks uglier and less realistic and gritty than they did in Halo Reach. And if they wanted to go like big bombastic sci-fi style, they could have stayed with the Halo 3 art style. The Halo 3 art style was awesome. Both Reach and 3 had amazing art. And instead they were like, "Oh no, it's a new game, We're gonna strike out on our own, right?" But 343 Industries, guess what? You're literally named after one of the principal villains from the series, right? Your entire company, like your whole credo is like by Halo fans for Halo fans, right? Like it is a company specifically made for Halo. They don't make any other games. So why are they insisting on going with this bullshit art style that's like completely different from pre-established lore? It sucks. It's really, really dumb, and it feels absolutely pointless. So I would say that might be like the biggest, most upsetting thing to me because it's just hard to look at and it's ugly.
Yeah,
And
I see what you're saying. Like, it definitely is jarring considering how much they've built upon these characters and all that,
mm,
and for them to all kind of just change it at the drop of a hat for very ambiguous
no
and
reason.
ridiculous reasons, or no reason at all,
Mhm.
right? It does seem
Mhm.
a little ridiculous.
Yeah, literally like the way that they could have made Halo 5 go back into my good graces is um either get rid of all the Prometheans or uh uh upgrade into a or just completely get rid of the old art style and or not sorry, get rid of this old art style and go back to the original art style. Like going back to Reach or going back to Halo 3. That's the kind of look that I want these games to have, and unfortunately, they're like, nope, we're gonna stick to our guns on this. We're gonna keep making these games look like shit. And to be quite honest, the new ones don't look that good either. Like, even in Halo Wars 2, where they bring back some original sort of designs and some newer ones, even in that, it still just isn't that good. So, but I would say that the way they could have made Halo 5 be a 5 out of 10 is just they could keep all the gameplay and just turn it into like continue the story and make it have the good art style. But no, instead they made dog shit story with still bad art style, and yeah, no. Halo 5, it plays a little better. It's more dynamic and it plays a little bit better, but it doesn't feel like a Halo game. It feels like they fucking killed Halo with that. But all right,
That's for next
here's
time.
yeah, here's one last question before we go to the overall rating, and um, what did this game do well that you want brought back in Halo 5?
I thought you asked me that question already.
No, I asked what this improved on from the previous one.
Oh, well, I would have to say,
Yeah. And
uh,
I asked what you would want improved
as
from this game.
time, uh, as time passes, technology gets greater, and the
Hmm.
graphics will increase. And I have to say that was probably the only thing that got better from Reach to this game.
Yeah.
So
I don't
for
know
this game
if I
improved,
poisoned this for you with my negativity,
um,
but
I feel as
yeah.
though like a lot of those like minor things like the art style, uh, I'm not as deep into the lore, so it doesn't really bother me quite as much. But it's very easy
Hmm.
to see, and it's very apparent the absolute like terrible, terrible like experience you have when playing some of these levels and some of these parts of levels because they tried so much to change what Halo is and make it
Hmm.
into all these different things, and they made a lot of the mistakes that the previous people did in the earlier Halos, but they did it without a good story.
Hmm.
So, because at least those games that had like a lot of issues with like glitches and bugs and just poor gameplay, they could fall back on their story, whereas this had absolutely no benefit to all the bad stuff, you know? So, I would suppose, I want to see every single pour on Master Chief's armor in the next game. There you go. Increase them
Hmm.
graphics. Do it for me.
Yeah, I would say that's the only thing. I get this game looked what year? This was like 2012. Yeah,
Like I said, the
I remember because
cutscenes
in
looked alright, you know what I mean? They didn't look too bad. I feel like,
yeah, Christmas
obviously,
um
to a certain
Christmas
point,
2011, I had a broken arm, so this came out in Christmas 2012.
2012.
Yes. Or November 2012. Sorry. I got it for Christmas. Um but yeah. Do you think this looks good for late 2012?
I
That was
feel
the year
like
Black Ops 2 came out.
it looks pretty good. Yeah, I think that the overall graphics are just. I feel like from like 2012 to now, right? All changes in
Mhm.
graphics are only getting more minor and minor because there's a limit, obviously, to how good the graphics can get.
Mhm.
Um, but I feel like even back then, that this is pretty decent graphics. It's not blocky. You have details on things. I think it's a pretty good graphics wise, but of course, it can always get better.
Mhm.
And I know that I do play a lot of retro games, but I do enjoy games with like really good graphics. So
Mhm.
hopefully, Infinite and Five give me that really nice graphical experience. I do have to
Halo
say
Infinite
another thing
it looks pretty good so far.
that this game I feel like uh was missing is that in every single other Halo game with Master Chief, there is some big set piece explosion. There was like a few in here, but it kind of didn't feel as big every time it happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was about to say he has no action movie lines.
Like he
He has
has
no good one-liners.
like action movie like scenes like where he'll do action movie things, but it doesn't feel quite as intense or doesn't feel quite as epic.
He doesn't fly a bomb from a space station into a giant Covenant carrier and blow that shit up in there. So, like, he literally takes it out completely single handedly. He doesn't fucking, what does he do in Halo 3? He doesn't blow up the giant anti-aircraft gun or take out any scarabs. Like, he goes in and he blows up the Lich. That happens, but, you know, it doesn't feel very epic.
Yeah, that's what I'm
With the
saying.
scarab, you know, you had to blow up its leg, jump up top it, kill a bunch of brutes and grunts, then come in the back and then shoot it and blow it up. With the scarab in Halo 2, you had to jump off a roof onto the top, kill all the elites and stuff, and then go in, and then you do take it out in a cutscene, but still, it feels really epic because you see, like, what it does throughout the entire level, right? Like, it takes out your Pelican in the previous level. It blows up a Scorpion tank right in front of you, and then it's just, like, climbing all over the rooftops and shit. Yeah. It's fucking...
Yeah, so
Yeah.
lots of things I feel like this game like could have taken from the previous games, you know, and a lot of things that it just didn't. So
Yeah. All right. So we've reached the end of the review, so I'd like to hear your overall rating out of 10.
I'm trying to keep my ratings consistent. I'm trying to think back to some other games in the series. I remember
Do you want
the first
the
game I
previous
believe was like a
scores?
3, right?
Yeah, do you want the previous scores?
And even though the first game's story was not nearly as good as some other stories in the series, I would say even that story is like much more uh entertaining, involved, you know,
Mm-hmm.
than this one.
Yep.
But there were a lot of issues, so it's kind of like a hard balancing act between like the things I liked in the first game and the things I didn't like. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
in this game, it has very few like good things. You know what I mean? Like, if any at all. And it has a lot of
Mm-hmm.
bad things as well. So I think I'm gonna like probably be a little bit around there. But I think this game probably has more negatives than the first one did. So probably like a 2.5. You know, like a little underneath the first one. You know,
Yeah.
but not
All
too
right. If
much.
you're reviewing it, if you're giving it a 2.5, then I think I might have to give it a 2
Yeah.
cuz I had no fun with this game. It is not fun at all.
Yeah. I definitely have to
I
agree with
thought
you
I was going to
there.
give it a 3, but no, I think
I was kind of hoping for, you know, like the same things that I liked in Halo Reach to kind of like make a return, like the
mhm.
feel of like the weapons and all that. But the only thing they really kept was like sprinting. And that was it, really.
And the
Beside,
other armor abilities, yeah.
yeah, and besides that, it just everything else was worse. And it's like I said, it's hard to believe considering that, you know, they did so good the game before, you know, how could they just not copy paste like 90% of that and just
Well, the problem is they didn't do it.
well, yeah, they didn't do
343
it,
Industries
but
is a completely different studio,
I know, but they
yeah.
had a lot to work with and they didn't really live up to it.
Mhm.
But that's my rating.
Mhm.
Maybe Halo 5 will have a slightly better story
I
and hopefully it'll have again slightly better pacing and enemy balance.
yeah.
And hopefully it
Uh
won't have any microtransactions.
yeah, so I think the scores so far have been you gave for you've given Halo 1 a 3, you give Halo 2 a 5.5, you gave Halo 3 a 6.25, you gave ODST a 6.5, you gave Reach an 8.25, and you've given this one a 2.5. I have given Halo 1 a 7, I gave Halo 2 an 8.75, I gave Halo 3 a 9, I gave Halo 3 ODST an 8, I gave Halo Reach a 9.25, and I gave this one a 2. Would you like to change any of your previous scores?
Oh, I think we're all good here. I think it's all sounds good. Well, we have one more game left, and then I will be a Halo. What do you call yourself, Nick? A connoisseur like you?
A connoisseur, an aficionado, perhaps
I have to
a
say,
veteran.
you know, even though I will have played all the games, I'm sure that I will never have the same knowledge that you do, just for a lack of really interest in
I've
seeking
read the
it.
books.
Yeah, that too,
I've
right?
read the books.
Yeah,
So
like
I've read the books. I watched Halo Legends. I watched Forward Unto Dawn, but I did not watch.
I have my little series that I really enjoy and that I'm super duper deep into as well. It just is a single player
Mhm.
series, so unfortunately I can't really share that with
Assassin's Creed.
yeah, but
All
I
right.
enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Um. Whew. It's gonna take like. I'm gonna have to play. I think I might have to play Bioshock Infinite again to get out of this funk that Halo 4 has put me in.
Hey man, but like I said, consider checking out Binding of Isaac, like I said, it's a fun game.
Perhaps. But
And
I
now they
think.
have multiplayer, maybe we could check it out together.
Yeah, maybe. But I think that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching this series of us descending completely into madness and despair. It's been not fun at all, actually. It's been quite awful. I hope I never have to play Halo 4 again. Um, yeah, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're here on YouTube. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitch. All of those are free. You can change your mind later, and it really helps out the channel. And it helps me out knowing what you like and don't like so I can keep making content that's enjoyable for you. But that will do it. I'll see you guys in Halo 5.